Joining me today is Representative Francis Gauthier, who's a New Hampshire representative from Claremont. Francis, this is your first term, and I always like to ask the first term representatives, because I'll never be one, trust me on this. What are their impressions going to the State House and that first term?
When I park my car, across the street, and I have to walk up through this alley, and then all of a sudden I come up and there's the Golden Dome and that big granite building, and I'm just in awe of that's where I'm going to work every day right now for the next 2 years at least.
Has it been a lot of work?
Yes, it has. There's a lot of hours of behind the scenes committee meetings, where public hearings, and we hear a lot of people with how they see these bills and how they're going to unfold and affect their lives, and what they would like to see changed or omitted or whatever.
You've sponsored a number of bills. If you could get any one of them passed through magic wand time here, which one would it have been? Which one would it be?
Number one is the bus service for Claremont, where Newport and the surrounding area of Claremont, as we desperately need our bus service back. We have a lot of older people and poorer people who don't have transportation, and it's a real hardship for them.
And that was run through a public-private or nonprofit and then a governmental partnership.
Yes.
You think there's a chance that will come back? What?
Yeah.
I don't understand the dynamics of how that stopped.
Yeah.
Can the state really be the catalyst to have it come back?
Yes, we need help from the state, definitely, and also we need help from local partnerships. Also, it's not for sure that it's going to survive, and we need what's called the 120 Route 120 bus route from Claremont to the Upper Valley. And that would be a profitable, I've talked to the bus operators, that would be a very profitable route. They could run several buses several times a day, and that could, the profit from that could actually, help with the rest.
Do you think, now I don't know, that's in your committee, that's probably going to another committee. How do you think they're going to view that with the other priorities?
I'm not sure. I haven't really kept up with it 100% of how it's all going to go, but I'm hoping that it will pass.
And I imagine everybody, Republican and Democratic from your region, support this sort of thing, or are there people that don't?
Well, there's always people who don't, but I think
I meant from the legislative perspective.
Yeah, there's always people who don't are going to help with that, but I think it's the right thing to do.
And from the Senate, and is that supported at least in the Senate, the senator that represents Claremont?
Yes, that would be Miss Hennessy from Lebanon or Hanover, where she's from, and I believe that there's support there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the hardest decision you've had to make so far this year?
Well, I would say the right to work was a very difficult, agonizing piece of legislation that I agonized over it a lot. Yes.
What's the right policy for right to work? In your vantage point.
In my vantage point is that I supported. I was actually against the right to work because you as an adult should have the choice to enter into a contract. So if you are going to go to a sports team and make millions of dollars, is that you'd want somebody to represent you, and you would pick somebody to represent you. And the same thing with labor unions. They should be able to have somebody represent them.
And so I want to understand. So your opinion is that right to work legislation, because the labor unions are representing everybody, you at least ought to pay into that portion of the contract. Is
yes.
That's
yes.
Not the rest of the dues, but it's that free rider effect, I guess.
Yes.
That economists would call it.
Yes.
Do you think there'll be a lot of pushback on that?
Yes, I felt a lot of pushback because,
It's still the right decision.
yeah, it's still the right decision, and I would do it again also.
Okay, I got to leave it there because we are out of time.
Yep.
With our sponsors are pushing back to get to a commercial break.
Yep.
But thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Capital Connections, your weekly access to politics and policy along the I-89 and I-91 corridors and how it impacts your life in our region. If you have a comment or a question or an idea for a future guest, why don't you send me an email? But in the meantime, please remember, join us again at this same time next week for another edition of Capital Connections.